Hey guys, I'm going to do this single replacement reaction with you, or at least some of the questions to get you to remember. So we got to remember that hydrogen is +1, the beryllium column's +2, boron's +3, nitrogen -3, oxygen -2, fluorine -1. I also have to remember those 7 diatomic elements. I call them Hofbrinkel, okay? These 7 elements, if they're not in a compound, they need to have a twin or a buddy with them, okay? So these are all single replacements, so I have a compound and an element. So I've got to see who does oxygen want to kick out of the way. So I need to remember my charges. Oxygen's -2. Silver from the periodic table is +1. Chlorine's -1. So negatives can only kick negatives out of the way. So oxygen's going to try to kick chlorine out of the way. So I'm going to have chlorine all by himself. And then I'm going to have Ag +1 and oxygen -2. Okay, I don't care how they were before. Ag is +1, oxygen's -2, so it's Ag2O. Now I've got to go look. Chlorine, is he one of those 7? He sure is. He can't be by himself, so I'm going to put that 2 right there. Okay, so oxygen's kicking chlorine out of the way. Now on number 2, sodium's +1, iodine's -1, bromine's going to be -1. So the element that's all by itself is bromine. He's going to kick another negative out of the way. Okay? So iodine's going to be all by himself. Now I'm going to have sodium +1 and bromine -1. So I'm going to get NaBr. Now if I look, iodine's all by himself. Is he one of those 7? He is. Okay? Now I know if I look at this, you're like, wait a second, this is Br2 and this is only Br. I don't care how it behaved by itself. I care how when they're married. And then what I can do is I can go back and balance it by adding numbers in the front, the coefficients. So here I've got 2 bromines, I could put a 2 here. I've got 2 sodiums, I could put a 2 here. Okay, so we're going to look at the charges to see how they fit together so that they end up being 0. Okay? Nitrogen's -3, hydrogen's +1, chlorine's -1. So nitrogen's going to try to kick the chlorine out of the way. So chlorine's all by himself. And then I've got hydrogen is +1. And I've got nitrogen -3. So I'm going to have H3N. And then I'm going to look and say, hey, wait a second. Is chlorine one of those diatomics? It is. So I'm going to add that right there. Okay? Again, I know that this was N2 here. He was all by himself. He behaves differently than when he's in a compound. So then you have to go back and balance that. Okay? Hydrogen, he's +1. Sodium's +1. Chlorine's -1. So hydrogen's going to try to kick sodium out of the way. So I'm going to have sodium by himself. And then I'm going to have the hydrogen +1 and the chlorine -1. So I'm going to get HCl. Now I'm going to look at sodium. Is he on one of my diatomics? He's not, so he stays that way. Okay? Then I can go back and I can balance the reaction. Okay? 2 more with you today. Sulfur's -2. Silver's +1. Nitrogen's -3. Sulfur is going to kick nitrogen out of the way. So nitrogen. Okay, then I've got silver is Ag +1 and sulfur is S -2. So I'm going to end up with Ag2S. Okay, nitrogen, is he one of those diatomic? He is, so I need to do an N2. Okay, sodium's +1, nitrogen's -3. Now I've got to do a little math here. Nitrogen's -3, so that means all coppers, all 3 of these coppers must be +3. Well, +3, and there's 3 of them, so each one is +1, okay? So sodium's going to kick copper out of the way, so I'm going to get Cu, and then I'm going to have Na +1 and nitrogen -3. So I'm going to end up with Na3N. Now I'm going to go back and look, okay? Is copper one of these diatomics? It's not, okay? So I'm not going to put that a 2 after that, even though there was a number here. Now, I've used the charges to create my compounds. Now I'm going to go through and balance it. There's a 3 here, I need a 3 here. There's 3 sodium, so I'm going to need to squish, a 3 there, okay? I've got 3 silver here. I've got 2 silver here, so I'm going to need a 3 and a 2, okay? And he's balanced. This one, I'm going to need a 2 here, a 2 here, a 2 here. This one's going to take me a second. I need 2 nitrogen, and I'm going to need 6. And I'm good on that one. And then let's look at this first one. I'm going to put, there's 2 there. I'm going to put 2. And I'm going to put a 4 and a 2. I hope that's helped. I'm going to complete the back side of this and just show it as a PDF for you. Hope that helped.